Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to another episode of HarlequinCasts Dawn of War 2 Retribution. Today I've got a really nice 1 versus 1 game for you all. It's going to be Imperial Guard mirror match of all things, and it should be pretty interesting. Today is Sunday, March 20th, and I wanted to let you all know about a nice little tournament that's coming up right now from GameReplays.org. It's the GameReplays Open Season number 1, begins this Friday, March 25th, and it's going to go through till Sunday, and this is really going to be the first of several tournaments they're going to have. So if you're not familiar with it, go stop by GameReplays.org/DawnOfWar2, and I'll put links to all the news posts down in the description of this video. And yeah, they're looking for people to sign up, and they asked me to be casting the live event. So even if you're not interested in the tournament, go there for more information about when that's going to be casted, because I'm going to be there, and it should be fun. So either way, go check that out. So let's go ahead and get this game started. Both of these players I've seen on the forums quite a bit, and I was really interested in this game. Down here on the southern side, wearing fancy lad-looking pink armor there, playing as the Lord General, we have I Am Board. I Am Board actually goes by n8m, N8M, okay. Currently he's Nate-tastic on the ladder, but n8m is him on the forums there. And his opponent today, the one, the only Mr. Pega, playing as the Commissar Lord for the Imperial Guard. And I believe he has a nice-looking kind of dark green armor. Yeah, you can see it over here on his Imperial Guardsman. So, Imperial Guard on Imperial Guard. Let's check out what's going on here. First off, the most alarming thing is the fact that it looks like Pega is going for a triple cap right off the bat. He's got his Commissar grabbing the central victory point. Guardsmen moving in here on the left, although they are bumping directly into the Lord General. And way up here on the right, his second squad of Guardsmen are capping that victory point as well. Looks like these Guardsmen are forced to hang back into this guard tower. And taking a look at the opening build orders, we can see that Nate has grabbed his Sentinel. I'm just going to call him Nate instead of I Am Board because that's his actual name. He's grabbed a Sentinel third, whereas Pega went for 3 Guardsman squads. His third squad right now is just kind of capping some of the points around his base, it looks like. But we do have a little bit of firing going right here. Looks like those Guardsmen just retreated, and then the Commissar Lord inspired them with courage, which executes one of their members and gives them a nice little buff. You can see they're kind of glowing right now, and breaks their retreat. So he was just taking advantage of that to give him a little bit of an edge. You can see it looks like the Lord General already lost one of his little assistants there. And now just kind of backing away. It looks like the Guardsmen are just kind of setting up shop right here. Yes, they are building a multi-laser turret, which will do pretty well here because they can put pressure on this power node as well as just kind of keeping an eye on anybody coming towards this victory point here. So looks like the Commissar remembered he had something else to do today and is just going to head on out of here. But you can see over here on the left that this multi-laser turret is now... let's see, it looks like it's not quite finished yet. No, you guys need to finish working on that multi-laser turret, damn it. Now they're taking quite a few casualties, actually. That's a little bit of an accident there. There is the multi-laser turret. Now down to only 3 out of 9 Guardsmen left. They're going to start trying to cap this victory point, perhaps? No, it looks like they're just going to run off again. Who knows? Anyhow, Commissar Lord decapping some requisition points in the back of Nate's base. And more towards the north right now, we can see double Guardsman plus Sentinel putting a lot of pressure up here on Pega's power supply. So kind of both sides right now are pressuring their power grids. You can see that this multi-laser turret is opting to fire directly at this power node rather than putting any pressure on the Lord General who's hanging out in there right now. And he's just kind of firing back and forth there. And it looks like, yes, that multi-laser turret did totally take out that power node. Oh, we have Imperial Guards defenestrating like crazy out of this tower once again here, taking quite a bit of damage there. Looks like these guys did come back to grab that victory point, and more units are just kind of hanging out in here, garrisoning these buildings and that sort of thing. More towards the center, we have the Sentinel. And it looks like the 4th unit out of both players today is going to be a heavy weapon squad. We've got heavy weapons up for Nate, and coming out on the field right now for Pega. Let's take a look around and see what's going on up here. It looks like Pega has totally lost his power node, and it's currently being capped by Nate here with double Imperial Guard squads. But you can see heavy bolter team now setting up, and that'll quickly put an end to this this little incursion here. Suppressing, just killing a single model there. These guys are going to be able to cap it, but they're going to have to retreat on out of there. You can see the the Commissar is now kind of moving on in, wanting to engage these retreating units in melee, just charging on in, going for the guys who are actually staying on the battlefield instead, it seems. So that's looking pretty good there. But likely he's going to be able to recap this power node right now with his heavy bolter team and then move those guys up. Sentinel is continuing to kind of poke around on the left-hand side. And it's important to note right now that it is a 2-cap for Nate right now, a 3-cap even. So Nate does have control over each victory point right now. And Pega has been kind of forced back into his base with all of these troops. He took kind of a lot of losses there early game. There was fighting kind of on both sides of the map there, but now he's spreading his troops back out, trying to grab onto what's going on here. So that's definitely an unfortunate start for him. Looks like double guardsmen moving on out for Pega right now, putting a lot of pressure on this Sentinel. The Sentinel is currently trying to decap this requisition point, but you can see that when the Imperial Guard really fire away at this thing, they can put a lot of hurt onto it very quickly. Getting low, probably didn't even have time to try and do a ground pound or anything. There just has to retreat. The Lord General right now kind of moving in to block a little bit, perhaps, taking advantage of this heavy cover right now. Always a good idea. But, you know, a reasonably strong attack going on right now. And, of course, with the Commissar Lord moving on up for Pega, this side of the battlefield should be pretty well taken care of. Finally, we have one power generator down for Pega, whereas on the left-hand side, you can see a full grip of 3 power generators are up right now for n8m. Moving more towards the center here, you can see that n8m has set up his heavy bolter squad, as has Pega. So we've got heavy bolters just kind of staring each other down right here in the center of the map. Over on the right-hand side, we got a little bit of guardsmen kind of shooting back and forth here. Nothing too amazing there. I hear more generators going up right now, though. There's a second one up there for Pega right now. Again, just kind of skirmishing around deep in enemy territory. And more towards the middle of the map right now, we can see that the Commissar Lord, with his shield fully active, is just chasing down the Lord General right now. The Lord General is constantly reinforcing his troops, but he's just taking a ton of damage right now from the Commissar Lord and from this heavy bolter here. So both teams with their heavy bolters all set up in the center. I really do like that. And I just want to take a moment here and just look at this stylish pink paint job on these gentlemen. It's really cool. It's like pink urban camouflage kind of effect going on there. Meanwhile, on the left-hand side here, you can see the Commissar Lord and his Imperial Guardmen are moving back on out, and it looks like Iron Board has opted to go up to Tier 2 as well. Second heavy bolter squad coming out right now for Pega, so Pega really wants solid control over this whole guardsman problem early game. You can see he wants his guardsmen backed up by heavy bolters, really good at suppressing and inflicting casualties on these large clumps of troops out here. This heavy bolter, however, is going to have to back on out as he has been totally jumped upon by this Sentinel. Sentinel, not sure why he's not charging it up and using his ground pound ability, though. It's always good just to do that anyways, but it looks like he's instead just going to sit there. You can see the Commissar now charging on out of his building here, sick and tired of having a heavy bolter on his front lawn, but instead the heavy bolter just giving him a face full of heavy bolts, and he is going to have to retreat away as well. But currently, the result of all of that, however, was that Pega was able to cap 2 victory points, stabilizing at 283 points versus n8m's 447. Setting up a heavy bolter in this tower as well, doing a pretty good job of just kind of suppressing the Lord General and his entourage. Looks like, again, we've got heavy bolters just staring at each other, just right outside of each other's range. Looks like another generator is going up right now, so we have 4 generators up right now for Pega, having upgraded both of these power nodes right now. And again, ferocious fighting coming on here, just trying to take care of this victory point once and for all. Ooh, the Lord General here is being upgraded for a grenade launcher, but he is losing his entourage every time. But look at how effective that heavy bolter fire is against these huge chunks of troops like that. More towards the middle, we can see a little bit of light gen bashing going on here as these guardsmen are just putting some pressure on Pega's power generator. But it looks like, for the time being here, this is going to be really painful here for Pega. He has but a single Commissar Lord out here. And it looks like these guardsmen have been set up to have a flamethrower, so potentially they could do a lot of damage right now to Pega's power supply, and we already know he's a little bit behind. Looks like the Commissar, with his shield all set up, doesn't really care. He's just going to be hacking and slashing away at these guards. Look how much damage he's doing to these guardsmen. There's 4 out of 9 remaining. They haven't even had a moment here. Wow! Just really, really killing that entire guardsman squad right there, and the retreating guardsman gets completely gunned down by Pega's own guardsman here. So that was really unfortunate. I'm really surprised that n8m was able to lose that entire squad. You have to be careful about that sort of thing. But it doesn't matter. n8m does have his Chimera out on the battlefield. Of course, while I was narrating all of that, he was dutifully building his Chimera and has brought it out on the field. And there's very little anti-vehicle stuff out there for the time being. You can see using that ground pound once again just to kind of slow down the Commissar Lord. Commissar Lord doesn't really care, though. He's just going to speed right back on up and charge out there. So I don't think Pega really needs to be too afraid of these Chimeras. He does have double heavy weapons team out there, and he will likely, yes, you can see he even has queued up the last cannon upgrade on this heavy weapon squad for as soon as he finishes Tier 2, and there it goes, in addition to his own Chimera. So very, very mirror match looking for the time being here. This Commissar is just retreating away like crazy. Bam! There's the first shot coming out of that last cannon right now. At quite a long range away, you can see the humongous range on that, knocking away what looks like approximately a third of that Chimera's health. Intense fighting continuing over here on the left. Heavy bolter on heavy bolter, and you can see we have a bit of a creeping basilisk barrage right now going right off on top of this heavy weapons team as it's busy retreating. It looks like they were being upgraded to have a sergeant now that he's at tier 2, but going to have to retreat away for the time being anyways. More towards the center, we have this beautiful looking giant pink chimera. I just like to appreciate these models whenever I can. You can see them being double repaired by all of these guardsmen out here. And yeah, so things are kind of stabilized right now. Pega is up 2-0 right now at 260 points versus a single capture way over here on the left, being picked up by Nate's heavy bolter team for the time being. So, nice looking green chimera out on the field right now for Pega. This is also being upgraded for armor. That's kind of a unique thing about the Imperial Guard, is that they can upgrade the armor on their vehicles, which is kind of like a one-shot extra hit points. You can see the grenades from this Lord General here putting a little bit of damage on that. Honestly, neither of these vehicles are too awesome at each other. And you can see there's the armor upgrade kicking in right now, that little bit of yellow extra hit points on top. You can't repair it, but it's just kind of extra toughness. The Sentinel right now is backing on out, and you can see both Imperial Guardsmen now moving on up. Kind of, you know, nicely supported here with the Commissar Lord. Chimera now charging, and of course Chimeras are fantastic against infantry. They have lots of little lasers and auto lasers and things like that. Just going to be kind of firing away here like mad. I want to keep an eye out on these last cannons though, because the name of the game right now for each player is just to kind of flank the other one's Chimera and get a couple of good shots off. Oh, he had it set up, but he reset it up again, and unfortunately they set up twice. Boom! There goes that first shot right into that Chimera, and you can see, even though they're not super effective against each other, if you get behind it and block it and shoot it in its rear armor, obviously it does a ton of damage right now. Last cannon still firing away at this Chimera. Oh god, Chimera, you're not out of range yet! And the pink Chimera goes down, completely wrecked. And you can see that Pega's Chimera hasn't really taken any damage at all yet. He still has quite a bit of yellow armor. There he goes. Just getting a first taste of a heavy weapon shot here from Nate. This last cannon is the upgraded heavy bolter. I'm just kind of appreciating graphics today for whatever reason. I like staring at graphics. Anyhow, that Chimera is going to have to back out and get repaired here. But so that's kind of the name of the game. Second Chimera on the way for I Am Bored, and it looks like he also replaced one of his lost guardsman squads, I believe. So we've got triple guardsmen and 2 heavy weapons teams and a Chimera out there for Pega. Pega's definitely looking pretty good right now. He's inflicted 2 entire unit losses on his opponent. More towards the center, you can see now that Nate has set up his last cannon team. And, ooh, come on, Chimera, you got to get out of here. Oh, God, look at this Chimera. These things get so picked off by just kind of those last cannon shots. You really have to be careful about it. They are being set upon by all of these guardsmen right now, just kind of repairing away at it, and guarded up here with his own last cannon. Let's take a look around the left-hand side and see what's going on. Once again, we have this heavy bolter team here just trying to defend this point. You can see the grenades being reasonably effective, although, you know, both sides are doing a pretty good job inflicting losses on one another. More towards the center now, we see a large attack coming from Pega, which seems really strange. He is taking a ton of damage right now. This last cannon right here is just firing away, wrecking this Chimera. Chimera being totally taken apart here. Chimera back out of there. You can see he's dropping his troops off right now. Oh, the Chimera goes down. But perfectly symmetrical violence here. It looks like Pega's own last cannon has no problem whatsoever wrecking Nate's Chimera as well. You can see that Nate is moving up his heavy weapons teams, but I'd be surprised if anybody else continues getting Chimeras at this point. They are so obviously countered by just a single last cannon team that's kind of the end of that. But it looks like Pega now realizing he needs something to take care of all of these heavy weapons teams, going for a Manticore. Of course, having any sort of artillery against a stationary target, a wonderful idea there. His troops are beat up quite a bit. Going to have to back away for, or at least quite a few of them are going to have to back away for the time being here. You can see getting all resupplied in his base. In fact, just kind of poking around right now, I don't think he has anybody on the battlefield right now at all. So Pega has been relegated back to his own base right now, and you can see that this Sentinel has managed to decap this victory point. Heavy bolter squad moving on up. If you nestle these guys right in the corner here, perhaps sometimes in this little cliff facing, they can do a really good job at covering that right now, and that's exactly what we're going to see here. And Pega now is moving into range. Oh, they're going to open fire? No, just right outside their visual range, I bet. You can see him moving up with his own last cannon, which is probably going to try and cap this victory point, unfortunately, and get mowed down by that machine gun squad. Yes, that's exactly what's happening here. Over on the right-hand side, I believe we just saw, was that a Manticore barrage? Where's that Manticore at? Here it is. Manticore is just chilling out up top there. We'll have to keep an eye on that.